Okay, people, listen up.
He's a living American legend, immortalized in Hollywood film.
I believe this is going to be our finest hour.
This room here has been home.
From inside Mission Control, former NASA flight director Gene Kranz helped land American men on the moon. 50 years after the historic Apollo 11 landing, Kranz is back in the room where humanity's greatest feat unfolded.
When I walk into the room, I don't have to relive it. As soon as I walk into this room, seems crazy, but I hear things.
Kranz was already a rising star at NASA when he heard President John F. Kennedy challenge the nation.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
It was a great time for America, and Kennedy's speech, I think, ignited the fire. Let's go do it.
Next stop for them, the moon.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Kranz watched Apollo 11 blast off into space.
Now you're accelerating down there, and you can almost feel it. I believe 100% that we're going to be successful. We're going to land that crew on the moon.
You're looking good.
4 days later, on July 20th,
We are all arrived here early dawn.
Kranz and his team of controllers walked into Mission Control with a lunar landing within reach.
Nobody can come in or out until we have either landed, we have crashed, or we have boarded. Those are the only three outcomes from now on. And it's now between me and my team and the crew in the spacecraft. They're the only people that exist in the universe.
For the next few hours, the Apollo 11 astronauts faced daunting challenges. Mission Control worked each problem.
It was a battle. We had problems with communication, we had problems with navigation, computer program alarms, etc.
Every solution got them closer to the surface of the moon.
We're going to make this the first manned lunar landing.
Going forward, drifting to the right a little. Drifting. The Eagle has landed.
With just 17 seconds of fuel left in the tank.
And we're getting a picture on the TV.
Boy.
Okay, we're going to be busy for a minute.
But the people in the viewing room recognized we landed, and they're stamping and clawing, and they're stomping their feet.
The world celebrated, but Kranz and his crew still had work to do.
Okay, T1, stay, no, stay. Retro, stay. Fido, stay. Guidance, stay.
We celebrated 2 hours after the landing.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. The surface appears to be very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder.
Finally looked up and could see the moon up there. You could see the thing up there and say, hey, we just landed on the moon. That's pretty cool.
The success of Apollo 11 was way more than cool. It remains the defining moment in human history.
People started believing in themselves and what they can do.
Now at 85 years old, Kranz still finds himself captivated by the moon and its mystery. This NASA giant believes the moon is still calling.
To me, it's out there. And it basically says, I'm still here. Come and get me.
Who can forget the show Houston put on for the world, both on and off the field? Together, Houston and the NFL
We're bringing this sucker home!
broke records for Super Bowl 51.
I believe they will love the opportunity to do it again.
City leaders made it clear Houston wants another one.
Before the Super Bowl left in 2017, the conversations had already started.
Houston First officials say those conversations about our city haven't stopped since.
It's got the attitude, it's got the ability, and now it's got a proven track record.
Houston's already hosted the big game 3 times.
It takes a lot of time to put it together.
J. Kent Friedman is chairman of the board of directors for the Harris County Houston Sports Authority. He predicts the wait will be shorter this time.
I think it'll be under 10. I think we'll jump several cities in line in terms of hosting another Super Bowl, primarily because of the great experience that happened with the last one.
Last time, Houston sizzled. Downtown got a facelift. The Avenida Entertainment District, Discovery Green, and plenty of hotels helped play host to thousands of visitors. And an improved rail system shuttled people to and from the action-packed hubs.
It's going to be really hard for any destination to meet and exceed what Houston proved in 2017.
But all the experts agree for Houston to host its 4th The key will be NRG Stadium.
The great thing about NRG is it has great phones. It does, but it's 16 years old.
Super Bowl host cities are already penciled in through 2024, and now the selection process is different. No more bids. If the NFL wants you, they'll call you.
I think the NFL would like to bring a Super Bowl back to Houston as soon as they can. Obviously, they've got a lot of competing interest from other cities, but I think we're way towards the top of that list of places to put a Super Bowl.
Houston's kind of the total package.
But should the NFL decide to call, the city knows it will be ready.
I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when.
Officials think our best bet to host another Super Bowl could be 2027, but nothing will happen without the Houston Texans. This is what they're telling us tonight in a statement. We are determined to make another Super Bowl in Houston a reality at some point. We will continue to work with our partners to make sure Houston is well prepared when our next opportunity to host arises. You can read the Texans' full statement. It's on our website right now. That's KHOU.com. Guys, back to you. Guys, this little boy was already separated from his mother last summer. She was in Arizona. He was sent to Texas. Now they're facing separation again. A judge says the little boy has to go back to Guatemala. These are the tears of a mother and her son reunited. Lillian Martinez hugged and kissed her boy after being separated for more than 2 months during the Trump administration's now defunct zero-tolerance policy.
Tengo miedo.
She's scared, she told me today, as she faces the threat of separation again.
Yo no quiero que vuelva a pasar lo que yo ya sufrí. Mi niño es un niño, él es un niño que yo aquí solo yo no tengo en Guatemala nadie por él si me lo deportan.
An immigration judge signed this deportation order to send 5-year-old Juaner back to Guatemala alone after the little boy didn't show up to his court hearing. His mother has an asylum hearing pending in August.
This is not the country that we are, that we have 5-year-old kids in court and then their deportation orders get signed.
The family's attorney, Mana Yagani, says they were never told about the 5-year-old's court date. She found out about the judge's order yesterday afternoon. This was the automated recording.
The immigration judge ordered removal on your case.
We were very shocked. He's a baby. He barely can tell you his name and his home address. How do we expect him to appear in court alone?
Yagani says it's a growing problem, a direct result of the Trump administration's family separation policy last summer, a lapse in the system after families were reunited.
These cases have not been joined in the immigration court system, which is a big problem.
Lillian doesn't want to lose her son.
Lo más duro que me ha pasado en mi vida que me separan nuevamente de mi hijo. No es otro dolor más grande que uno puede tener uno de madre.
The thought of just being separated again is creating an emotional wreck for both of them.
ICE is authorized to pick up the child for deportation at any moment. The clock is ticking, but Yagani plans to fight.
It hurts because as a country, we should not be doing this.
This afternoon, Yagani has filed a motion to reopen the case in an effort to halt the deportation. They're asking the judge to consider changing course. We'll stay on top of it. Back to you.
Eugene Bion, right?
Eugene Bion.
So many different things here.
Literally lives.
My name tag collection.
For game shows.
I would jump up and down in my diapers and scream, "Come on down!"
He caught the game show bug early growing up in South Korea.
We used Scrabble tiles for the letters, and we pretended to be Vanna White.
Life brought Eugene to Houston, and in 1998, it brought him closer to his dream.
From the Johnson Space Center, it's Wheel of Fortune from Houston.
Wheel of Fortune came to Space City.
23 years old at that time.
And he stole the show during auditions.
And I waited since I was 8 years old to say this. I want to spin the wheel!
Eugene got his chance.
When we come back, Eugene's gonna play Call Your Neighbors.
His antics. Made for memorable moments.
It felt like home. The wheel, the puzzle board, Pat and Vanna.
But Eugene left without winning a single dollar.
Feeling rather dejected that I left with nothing, I went crazy on the phone and I called and called and called and called. Absolutely nothing.
16 years, a wife, and 3 kids later.
Eugene Bion, come on down.
Eugene finally got a second chance.
It's so noisy in that studio, you can't hear your own name.
This time on The Price is Right.
$1,117, Eugene!
Eugene picked the right price to win a computer package. It still sits in his game room today. But then he fell a little short.
Ready, Eugene? 1, 2, 3, let's go.
But every letdown made him a better player. Since The Price is Right, Eugene's been on 3 more game shows. A $100,000 pyramid in 2016.
I want to be a millionaire, Chris.
And 2 appearances on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He's cashed in every time.
From 0 to 1,117 to 8,500, yes.
Eugene says you can cash in too.
Shine a little bit on camera, let them notice you.
And most important,
and these are the games that I use to practice.
Remember, practice makes perfect.
You need to be really good at the game.
Eugene's come a long way. Since that first game show appearance, now he's making sure his kids catch the game show bug too.
If a show will take me, yes, I would love to be on another show.
Next up, he hopes, a stint on Family Feud. Marcelino Benito, KHOU 11 News. Well, Ron, people felt real fear here at the mall earlier this afternoon. I can tell you tonight, police say they have a photo of a person of interest in this case, last seen fleeing the mall and heading towards some nearby apartments. Video from inside Memorial City Mall Sunday afternoon sends chills down your spine as thousands of shoppers ran for cover.
They just came rushing in and they were saying somebody has a gun, you know, that was just flashing back to Walmart. People were freaking out.
I can tell you my heart's still racing. I can't catch my breath. I was just hiding in the back with a lot of people, you know, just all the people praying and crying and stuff.
Law enforcement across Houston descended on the mall to reports of an active shooter. Investigators say this was a false alarm. No shots were ever fired.
That person at that point had put on what appears to be about a half mask, kind of a red mask, came down the escalators, came down to the food court, and then at a slow trot went through the food court. About halfway in the food court, jumped up on a table and declared that he was going to kill himself.
Mass panic erupted after this person of interest dropped a bag on the ground. Its contents still unknown, but were determined not to be a danger. Now, police want to find the man in the mask that started it all.
It's not a prank to us. This is very serious. We're going to treat it as a terroristic threat, especially on the heels of what's going on around our country and what's recently happened in the state of Texas.
Oh my God.
Police tell us 2 people, a 16-year-old boy and his mother, suffered minor injuries as they fled the mall. Shoppers described complete chaos. They left everything behind.
And it's crazy. We're walking through the mall and you see strollers left there, baby bottles left there, purses laying on the ground, merchandise on the ground, because none of that matters. Your life matters.
Employees locked down in the back of their stores and waited for police to give the all clear. They're grateful to law enforcement and relieved this was not an active shooter.
Time to go that way.
But the fear they felt,
Scary as hell, I can tell you that. Very scary.
Is not something they say they're going to forget soon.
I'm like in shock, yeah, because why would somebody do something stupid like this? You know, I don't understand what's going on.
Now, if you left your belongings here at the mall during what happened earlier this afternoon, you're able to pick those up starting tomorrow morning at the customer service desk here at the mall. Meanwhile, Houston police asking anyone with any information about who that man may have been to call Crime Stoppers right away. That number 713-222-TIPS. Ron, back to you.